Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest.
Holy cow, what a day. It's the end of Monday. It is 9:30. I'm still here. Mike and Gary left a little over an hour ago. Productive one today. We had Ken come by in his 540M Tech. We did a seat repair on the driver's front seat. It had the twist issue. Installed some customer supplied aftermarket pork chops on the M-Tech. Updated a blue bus. Then we had Frank come by in the 99 540. Scheduled some work. We're going to do valve cover gaskets and plugs. And what did we do for Frank? Did I install the new belly pan for his 99 540. Then I got to work on this. All 4 caliper carriers are on and torqued. Calipers are on and torqued, connected to the brake lines. Pads obviously in. The pads are red, and I wish they weren't. I wish they were black. My dad's point is they will get black in about 1,000 miles as they're driven and get brake dust and stuff, road dirt. But they are red Carbotech pads. You can just see them through the wheels. The front brake bleeder screws that I ordered, the new ones are wrong. They're M10s. They should be M8 threads. So the ones for the rear fit. So I ordered 2 more rears and those dust boots. Then I'll be able to bleed the system out. But the job scope has improved, or has increased, as it always does. So I've had these for a while. I'm putting these in. That means the exhaust is off. That's annoying. So no exhaust whatsoever. Several points there. We're replacing all the heat shields under the car that have to do with the exhaust. The big one in the back by the diff, and then this big one that covers up the drive shaft, and that little one that goes in between. I had already done the 2 by the O2 sensors, and everything else under there is fine. I'm going to do the clutch slave cylinder, the hard line in from the slave to the master, and then bleed the clutch out too, so everything will be new with those brakes and that 545i master cylinder and the new booster and the new reservoir. Good God. With the exhaust off and the drive shaft out, you have to take the drive shaft out to get to the big heat shield in the back, which is already installed. But I gave the center support bearing a spin, and it's ticking already. 34,000 miles. So took the drive shaft apart, put a new center support bearing on. I'm going to put some more grease in the CV joint. That's only 34,000 miles. The flex disc is fine. So, well, the drive shaft's out. Let's rebuild the frickin' shifter. Why not? That's 34,000 miles. There's probably a hair of slop in it. Parts are cheap, and I have them. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Shifter's still in the car. I'm going to replace the rubber boot because that's been torn for a long time. I cleaned out the bores on the exhaust with a drill and a wire wheel, so that's nice and pretty. That should seal up nicely. The center mounts were done fairly recently, so they're fine. I took these heat shields off and cleaned the top of the mufflers. They've gotten really, really grimy just because that's a place you can't access, and whatever flips up from the road and lands on that will stay on that. Polish the exhaust tips. The inners, where I can't clean when they're on the car, were starting to get a little yellow, so that's all gone. This side, I'm going to bend the brackets about 1/4 inch. This side always sat lower, and the only way to adjust that is to bend these little arms. So we'll do that tomorrow before the exhaust goes back on. I did have 2 new gaskets in stock. I had the center support bearing, and I will have the shifter carrier bushings. Now, more notably on the exhaust, I was shocked to find out that the brackets that are supposed to connect it here and here to the transmission, all of that was missing. Everything. The screw holes in the transmission are dirty, so they haven't even been in there for a while. I have no idea how long it's been. Maybe ever since I've owned the car, maybe when it was on and off at LMS in Ohio, they took them off and lost them. I don't know what happened. I never knew it wasn't there, but it's not. So I've ordered all of those parts, about $200 in parts. Hopefully they're in the United States. Hopefully they're available. None of them were that expensive, but it's like $25 for the top one, $25 for the bottom, $25 top, $25 bottom. The cross brace, the bracket for the transmission, 4 screws, 4 nuts, 2 bolts, 2 nuts. Jeez, just lots and lots and lots of parts. I'm also replacing all the fasteners that hold up that stuff. I see one of them fell out of the bag. So that pops up in the chassis, and then your 2.998 mils screw into that. Damn. I had no intentions of taking this car off the road for months and doing all this work, but, well, we're here, and it's on the lift, and it's down, and I have customer cars that I am supposed to be driving to test. It makes sense to do it. Really got into this thing today, the 01 with 130. Mike and my dad rebuilt, well, we got new pads in the back. All the hardware is cleaned and tapped. Rotor looks bad, but it's not. Tightened up the parking brake a whole bunch in the back. It had gotten really loose. So we'll make some fine-tuning adjustments at the handle. We got new rotors in the front, waiting on the set screws. Just using an old one to hold it in right now. New pads in the front. Drained the oil, replaced the oil pan. Drained the diff, pan gasket, cleaned out the screen. There was one tiny piece of plastic in there and some silicone, so that's done. Still waiting on the jack pads. It has none of them, so we're using wood. That stuff's coming from FCP. So super, super busy day. They got about 10 hours, more like 12 hours in here today. I got about 9, 10. So I'm gonna go home, probably grab some In-N-Out, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. While I'm looking right at it, here's the old bearing from the center support bearing. Not good. The house still smells like In-N-Out, and I'm not at all upset about it. That was delicious. It's 12:15. I did more work. I ordered some more stuff and updated some spreadsheets, took care of some stuff for tomorrow, then played some GTA 5 with Mike. He just left. We're going to bed. It is cold outside, and we're very tired. So tomorrow's Tuesday. No one's coming in. We're going to work on my car. We're going to work on the other Silverstone. There's plenty to do. I will talk to you then. Good night.